All right, let's just jump right in, shall we? We're going to tackle the one question that I know is on everyone's mind in the data world. A question that's a mix of, a little bit of fear and a whole lot of curiosity.
Yep, that's the one. You've heard it whispered in meetings, you've seen the articles, and it's probably popped into your head, what, a dozen times this week? It's a serious concern, and today we are going to unpack it piece by piece. I mean, come on, how perfect is that? It just nails the feeling, doesn't it? You see an AI spit out a perfect, complex SQL query, and part of you is just amazed. It's incredible. But then there's this other little voice in the back of your head that's going, where do I fit into this picture? Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at why this fear is so real. Then we'll get into the difference between typing and trust, what the job really is. After that, we'll introduce this idea of an AI exoskeleton, map out a new blueprint for your career, and then we'll deliver the final verdict.
All right, first up, let's start at the beginning here. Why does this whole replacement idea feel so plausible, especially for data engineers?
And look, this fear is totally valid. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? AI is ridiculously good at pattern recognition. It eats this stuff for lunch, writing SQL, refactoring code, building basic scripts, mapping schemas, even spotting common bugs. These are the visible parts of the job, and they look like prime targets for automation. Okay, but, and this is a big but, that's only what you see on the surface. That's just the tip of the iceberg. The perception of what a data engineer does isn't the full story. So what are we actually doing all day? This, right here, this is the core of the whole misunderstanding. The perception on the left is that the job is all about the keyboard. It's about code. But the reality is this: messy, chaotic, human stuff on the right. It's about negotiating, investigating, and trying to manage pure chaos to build something people can trust. You know, so much of your day is actually playing detective, right? You're asking these impossible questions. There is no AI model on Earth that can figure out who really owns a table or chase down why the CRM is suddenly sending duplicate records. And it sure can't make the judgment call on whether a metric is solid enough to show to the leadership team. That takes context. That takes accountability. So here's the bottom line. The typing part, that's becoming the easy part. The real job, the thing that actually provides value, is being the human translator who turns messy business reality into data that people can actually rely on. It's about building trust. So, okay, if AI isn't here to replace us, then what is it? Well, I want you to think of it as your AI exoskeleton. It's not a replacement, it's a tool that makes you stronger. Let's look at where it shines and where it completely falls apart. I mean, think about it. This exoskeleton is a serious force multiplier. It takes you from zero to a solid first draft in seconds. It demolishes that boilerplate code. It gets you past that blinking cursor on a blank screen and writes the first pass of documentation. It's an incredible assistant for all the repetitive stuff. But, and this is crucial, here's where that exoskeleton just stops. It can't handle ambiguity. It doesn't know what to do when marketing and sales change the definition of a lead halfway through a project. And you can't fire an AI when a pipeline breaks and costs the company $1 million, can you? It doesn't understand risk, security, or the big picture of how all these systems connect. And you know what? This isn't even a new thing. This slide shows the bigger picture perfectly. For years, we've been building tools to shrink specific tasks. Managed connectors made ingestion less painful. Observability tools act like a warning system. But look closely. See that? There's no tool here whose job description is make data engineers obsolete. These tools automate tasks, not people.
Okay, so with all that in mind, what do we do about it? How do you actually make your career future-proof in this new world? This is the practical playbook. The job itself is shifting. It's moving up the value chain, you could say. You're going from being the person who just writes the code to the person who reviews and validates the AI's code. You're moving from just building a pipeline to designing an entire durable system that won't break when something changes. So what skills should be in your toolkit for this new world? It's less about knowing a specific Python library and more about having a systems-level design mindset. It's about obsessing over data quality and governance. And yes, communication. It's not a soft skill anymore, it's a core technical skill. Honestly, it's maybe the most important API you'll ever work with, the human-to-human one. And at the end of the day, this is really the goal, isn't it? The best data platform is the one that's boring. It's like the plumbing in your house. You don't think about it at all until it breaks.
Your job is to be the master plumber, the person who makes sure the clean water is always flowing. That's a fundamentally human job, and it's incredibly valuable.
Phew. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's bring it all home and give a final, definitive answer to that big, scary question we started with.
Let's boil it all down. It's actually pretty simple when you look at it this way. The AI automates the what. It writes the code, it drafts the docs, it handles the repetitive stuff, but the human owns the why and the how. We own the accountability, the systems thinking, and that messy, critical job of translating business needs into reliable data.
Look, if you remember just one thing from our chat today, please let it be this. AI replaces tasks, not ownership. The smartest data engineers aren't going to be replaced. They're just going to offload all the boring tasks to their AI exoskeleton so they can focus on the hard stuff, the valuable stuff, ownership and building trust.
So you see, the question was never really, will AI replace me? That's the wrong question. It's too passive. The real question is active. It's empowering. AI is your new exoskeleton. It's here to make you faster and stronger. The real question is, how are you going to use it?